Hey everybody, this is Harry coming to you from Live Oak City Cemetery, where it's fixing to come down in buckets here. Anyways, I thought of a question the other day. I was looking through my Criterion collection, and I watched videos of other people and their collections and all. But my question is that this is kind of maybe a community chat thing that maybe everybody can jump in. Maybe James or Ian or Michael who own it, some Criterions, or even Masters of Cinema, which are I guess the equal or the same as Criterion here in the U.S. Is that how did the Criterion collection or the Masters of Cinema collection open your eyes to film or make you change your film watching? Like when I started watching Criterion collection, it was actually back in the 80s on VHS. I've watched a few Criterion films or Janus films on VHS, and then some DVDs in the late 90s, early 2000s, and it was mainly mainstream films. I've watched maybe a couple of. I remember watching a foreign film. I can't remember the name of it, but I remember watching a foreign film that was a Criterion collection film that I rented from the library down in Fort Lauderdale when I lived in Fort Lauderdale. But nowadays, like I'm running, and you see everybody's collections on YouTube and stuff, and they have like the Seven Samurai, a lot of Akira Kurosawa films, Roman Polanski, Ingmar Bergman films. And how does your collecting or those films, like I said, like the Criterions or Master Cinema, open your eyes to different films? Like I would never watched maybe 30 years ago a Japanese film, and now I watch them and quite enjoy them. It's like how did I miss out on all this? All these years, just staying in my little box, of watching films from John Ford or John Wayne movies, and Howard Hawks films, Cary Grant films. I stayed in that Hollywood box. Even though Criterion does have Hollywood films, they do showcase a lot of independent films that I probably would not have watched before. And then I get influenced by watching other people's videos, especially Mike or James, who post Criterion Corner, James or Ian, and Mike's films that I'll watch. Like John Cassavetes. I was watching a few because he had bought the James Cassavetes films and on Criterion, and so I watched a few of those. I haven't watched the whole set. I read them from Netflix mainly. So anytime you see something like that I'm watching something from Criterion, if I don't own it, I'm getting it from renting it from the Netflix DVD. I did belong to the Criterion channel, but the only problem is my computer wouldn't play any of the Criterion films, so I had to cancel my subscription. It wouldn't play on my TV or my tablet, so I had to cancel my subscription to the Criterion channel, where I probably would have been watching a lot more films. I get on these kicks where I want to watch, like Ingmar Bergman. I watched a few of his films that I have never seen. I watched Jacques Tati, French comedian, Mr. Hulot's, Monsieur Hulot's Holiday. That kicked me off on watching all his films that were on Criterion. And so I've watched French, Italian. One of the Italian films I watched was Mike's, can't pronounce it, but with these two guys driving in a car and going on a ride through Rome. But anyways, that was on the Criterion, and so that was interesting to watch. Something I probably had never watched. And then I have on my list like Bicycle Thieves to watch, and other films. I watched Nashville for the first time. I watched The Friends of Eddie Coyle just the other night with Robert Mitchum and such. I do have a small collection, Criterions, I guess about 30 films, which I'll probably showcase here one day. I did a video of it. It was really bad because it was dark and you couldn't hardly see anything. But I'll go through that again. Hopefully one day and show off my collection of Criterions. I do definitely want more. I enjoy them. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to start going through them because I've watched every Criterion I own, but I want to listen to them with the audio commentary and stuff, and so go through them and watch them with the audio commentary. So kind of like a rambling thing, which is normal for me. But anyways, I just wanted to know what your thoughts were, or how did the Criterion Collection influence your film watching, or the Master of Cinema. I don't own any Master of Cinema, but how did they influence your movie watching? How did they expand your movie going universe? You know, did it make you curious to watch films from Japan or Italy or France, or more independent films, or more obscure films? Let me know in the comments below your thoughts and comments, and I appreciate you watching this ramble. Thank you.